The alien ship drifted slowly above the dead world, its silver body shining in the pale light of a dying sun. Below, the surface was broken, black, and silent. Nothing lived there anymore, or so the aliens thought. When the first scan reached their command deck, alarms rang. A large form moved through the dust storms. Its heat signature glowed red, strong and heavy. The alien officers looked at each other in shock. They had expected ruins, not life. The hunting party was sent down with weapons ready. Their armor glimmered, their blades sharp. They entered the ruins of what once had been a city. Crumbled towers leaned like broken teeth. The air smelled of ash and iron. Then it appeared, a massive shape pushed through the smoke, its body scarred, its skin dark and armored like stone, its eyes burned with yellow fire. It roared with such force that the ruins shook. The alien soldiers nearly dropped their weapons. One alien commander shouted the order. Energy nets flew, blades struck. The creature fought with claws and teeth, tearing through stone as if it were paper. But in the end, numbers won. The nets tightened. Energy sparks burned its skin. The monster fell with a final roar. The soldiers stood over the bound creature, panting, afraid. Even in chains it looked unstoppable. Its chest rose and fell like a furnace. Its teeth dripped with blood. One soldier whispered, "This is no animal. This is a demon." The alien ship carried the prisoner back into orbit. Locked inside a cage of force and steel, the creature banged against the walls. The sound echoed through the halls. Crew members avoided walking near it. No one dared to look into its eyes for too long. They said the creature could curse with a stare. But one human was on board that day, Elara Voss, a scientist sent by Earth to study alien biology. She heard the sound of chains dragging through the halls, and her curiosity pulled her to the chamber. The guards warned her not to enter. "It will tear you apart," they said, but she stepped closer. Through the glass, she saw it, the so-called monster. It was huge, nearly 3 times the height of man, its arms chained, its body scarred, its breathing was heavy. Each exhale carried a growl. Yet when Elara looked into its eyes, she did not see rage alone. She saw something else, something unexpected. Fear. It lasted only for a moment, but she saw it. The creature looked at her and then looked away, as if ashamed. Elara's heart beat faster. She whispered, "You're not what they think you are you?" Behind her, the alien commander entered the chamber. His voice was cold. "Do not waste your pity, human. This thing is dangerous. It killed 5 of my soldiers before we captured it. Tomorrow, the council will decide its death. It deserves nothing else." Elara turned her eyes from the commander back to the creature. The monster did not roar now. It did not fight. It simply lowered its head, as though it understood every word. That night, in the silence of her cabin, Elara could not sleep. The image of those yellow eyes haunted her. She kept asking herself, if this was only a beast, why had it looked at her with fear? Why had it looked almost human? Meanwhile, inside the cage, the creature sat in the dark. The chains cut into its flesh. Every breath was pain, but the memory of the woman's eyes, the only eyes that had not burned with hate, kept it still. For the first time in years, it felt something other than rage. It felt the faint warmth of hope. And outside, the stars moved silently, carrying the ship toward a judgment that could end everything. The aliens saw only a monster, but the humans had yet to decide. The story was only beginning. The council chamber of the alien fleet was carved from black crystal, its walls glowing faintly with streams of blue energy. Rows of tall alien leaders sat in a circle, their robes long, their eyes sharp and cold. Above them floated the holographic image of the captured creature, chained and surrounded by guards. Its chest rose and fell like a storm trapped inside a cage. The commander who led the capture stood before the council. His voice echoed in the chamber. "Honored council, this beast is a threat to every world we protect. It has killed without reason, destroyed our soldiers, and shown only rage. We request immediate execution." A deep murmur spread across the chamber. To these aliens, mercy was weakness. They had built their empire on strict law. Destroy danger before danger grows. Their culture did not forgive. They did not give second chances to them. This trial was only a formality. But at the edge of the chamber, Dar Elara Voss stood quietly. She had been allowed to attend as a human observer. Her heart beat fast. She had studied hundreds of alien species in her career, but never had she seen a creature like this one, and never had she seen one look at her with such human-like fear. One of the elder aliens raised his voice. What else can be said? The creature is a monster, no intelligence, no purpose but destruction. We waste time keeping it alive. Death is the only answer. Alara's voice broke the silence. It was soft but steady. You are wrong, she said. Every alien I turned to her, some with confusion, some with anger. No human had ever spoken during a council verdict. She stepped forward, her hands trembling but her resolve unshaken. I looked into its eyes. I saw fear. I saw sorrow. A true beast does not feel such things. There is something more here. The commander laughed harshly. Do not let your human softness blind you. This thing tore 5 soldiers apart before falling. Would you call that sorrow? Alara lifted her chin. Yes, it fought, but fought because it was hunted, captured, chained. Tell me, Commander, would you not fight if strangers came with nets and blades for you? The chamber grew tense. The aliens shifted uncomfortably. Their law was clear, but her words struck deep. For the first time, some of them hesitated. One of the younger council members asked, Are you suggesting this thing is intelligent? That should live? Yes, Alara answered firmly. I suggest that killing it now would not only destroy a life, but erase something we may never understand. What if this creature is the last of its kind? What if it remembers something of its people? Would you burn away history because you were afraid? Her words echoed in the silence. The aliens did not like fear. They hated it. They crushed it. But they respected logic, and her questions could not be ignored so easily. The eldest counselor rose slowly, his tall form casting shadows across the floor. His voice was deep and heavy. The human raises a point. If intelligence exists, it must be proven. Yet risk remains if we allow this monster to live, and it escapes, its destruction will be on our hands. The commander bowed his head slightly. Then give it no chance, Elder. End it now, before weakness spreads. But the elder lifted a clawed hand, silencing him, his glowing eyes fixed on Alara. You, human, claim to see what we do not. Then the burden is yours. If this creature is to be tested, it will be under human care. If it shows only violence, the blame will fall on your kind. The council chamber buzzed with whispers. It was unheard of, handing a monster to humans. Yet curiosity flickered in their eyes. If the humans failed, the council would still have the excuse to destroy both the creature and the arrogance of human mercy. Alara bowed her head slightly. I accept, she said. Her voice was calm, but her chest felt heavy. She knew the danger, she knew the risks, but she also knew she could not walk away. The verdict was struck. The creature would not be executed. Not yet. Instead, it would be placed under human observation, a final chance to prove itself. Back in the dark chamber of its prison, the creature lifted its head as guards unchained it from the alien transport. Its yellow eyes burned with suspicion, but also with something softer when they fell on Alara. She stood behind the guards, watching, knowing the future of both the creature and humanity's reputation now rested on her choice. The commander's last words to her still rang in her mind. His voice had been low and cruel, whispered as the council chamber emptied. You have just signed your own death, human. This monster will not thank you. It will devour you first. But Alara was not afraid. She remembered the fear in the creature's eyes, and she whispered back to herself, No, I don't believe that. And so the verdict was set. The alien saw only a monster awaiting execution, but the humans had been given a chance to prove something greater. The clock had begun to tick. The transfer from the alien ship to the human research station was quiet but tense. The creature's massive body was bound in heavy chains, its head lowered, its glowing eyes shifted from one guard to another. But it did not resist. The aliens who escorted it looked relieved when the humans finally took control. They wanted nothing more to do with it. Inside the human station, the air felt different, warmer, less sharp than the cold hulls of the alien vessel. Dar, Elara Voss walked ahead of the group, guiding them to a reinforced containment chamber built deep underground. The walls shimmered with layers of energy barriers, designed to hold even the strongest alien predators. When the guards locked the creature inside, the heavy doors closed with a hiss. The humans around Elara sighed in relief, but the tension did not leave the air. Every step the creature had taken shook the ground. Every breath it drew sounded like thunder. It was a living storm, trapped but not broken. Captain Jonas Hale, commander of the human station, turned to Elara. His face was sharp, his voice low. "Elara, what exactly have you done? The aliens wanted this thing executed. Instead, we are now babysitting it." Elara met his eyes, calm but firm. "Because I don't believe it's only a monster. Captain, there's something in it, something worth saving." Jonas frowned, shaking his head. "You saw the reports. It killed soldiers. It resisted capture with savage violence. Do you want to risk our people for a chance you might be wrong?" Her voice softened. "If I am wrong, then yes, the risk is mine. But if I am right, this could be the last survivor of an intelligent race, a people destroyed before we ever knew them. Do we kill the last memory of them, or do we give it a chance?" Jonas studied her for a long moment, his jaw tightened. Finally, he gave a short nod. "Fine, but the responsibility is yours. If it breaks free, if it kills, its blood will be on your hands." Elara accepted the weight of his words. She turned back toward the observation glass. Beyond it, the creature sat in silence, its massive shoulders hunched, its eyes glowing faintly in the dark. For a moment, it almost looked small, not in size, but in spirit, as though crushed under the weight of chains heavier than steel. Days passed. The humans studied the creature carefully. Scientists ran scans, measuring its body, its brain activity, its responses to sound and light. The creature remained mostly still, watching, silent, refusing to strike. To the alien council, this meant nothing. They claimed it was only waiting, like a predator before it pounced. But Elara saw small details others missed. The way its eyes followed the humans as they moved. Not with hunger, but with something closer to curiosity. The way it flinched at sudden noise, like it carried scars from endless battles. And once, just once, she thought she saw its lips move, forming a sound, but no word came. One night, when the station grew quiet, Elara entered the observation chamber alone. She stood near the glass, her hand pressed lightly against it. The creature lifted its head, its eyes met hers, yellow flame against human softness. She spoke softly, her voice trembling. "Can you understand me? Do you know what I'm saying?" For a long time, nothing happened. The silence felt endless. Then, slowly, the creature tilted its head, the smallest movement, but enough Elara's breath caught. It was listening, it understood. The next day, Elara tried again, this time with food. She ordered fresh meat brought to the chamber, but instead of tossing it inside, she placed it gently on a tray, sliding it through the opening. The guards tensed hands on their weapons. The creature looked at the food, then at her for several long minutes. It did not move. Finally, it reached out with one clawed hand. Its touch was slow, careful. It lifted the food and ate, never breaking eye contact with her. The guards whispered nervously. "It's playing with you," one said. "It's only waiting for the chance to strike," another muttered. But Elara smiled faintly. "No, it's choosing not to strike. That is the difference." Over the following days, a fragile pattern formed. Elara came each evening, speaking softly. Sometimes she read aloud. Simple words, stories from Earth's history. The creature did not reply, but it listened. Its eyes followed her every movement. Its breathing grew calmer in her presence. Yet danger remained. Rumors spread among the crew. Some feared the creature would break free and kill them all. Others whispered that Elara had gone mad, blinded by sympathy. Even Captain Jonas warned her again. If you push this too far, it could cost lives. But Elara's resolve did not weaken. She knew what she saw, the way the creature lowered its head when she spoke, the way its hands trembled slightly when it reached for food. It was not rage, it was not hunger, it was fear, and fear meant understanding. Then one night, something extraordinary happened. As Elara turned to leave, She heard a low, broken sound from inside the chamber. Her steps froze. Slowly, she turned back. The creature's lips moved again, struggling, forming a word in a deep, harsh voice. "Stop!" The word was rough, almost a growl, but it was a word. Her heart pounded in her chest. She whispered back, tears in her eyes, "You can speak." The creature lowered its head, as if ashamed. It did not speak again, but the truth was clear. It was not only a monster, it was something more, something lost and broken, but alive. Alara knew then that her choice had been right, but she also knew the hardest battles were yet to come. The Alien Council would never believe this. The humans themselves were divided, and the creature, it carried wounds so deep they might never heal. Still, as she stood before the glass that night, she whispered, "You are not alone anymore." And for the first time, the creature did not look away. The research station grew quieter at night. The corridors dimmed, the machines hummed softly, and most of the crew slept, but Alara remained awake, returning again and again to the observation chamber. It was here, in the silence, that the barrier between human and monster began to weaken. Each evening she brought food, not tossed or thrown, but offered with patience. At first, the creature only took it cautiously, never lowering its burning eyes. But over time, its movements softened, its claws no longer shook with anger. Instead, they trembled with hesitation, as if it had forgotten how to accept kindness. Captain Jonas noticed the change, but remained wary. "It trusts you because you feed it," he said one morning, standing beside her. "Do not mistake hunger for loyalty." Alara shook her head, her gaze fixed on the massive figure behind the glass. "No, Captain, hunger ends when the stomach is full, but it still waits when I speak. It still listens." Jonas frowned, but he could not deny the truth. The reports from the guards confirmed it. The creature had grown calmer, more predictable, still dangerous. Yes, but no longer thrashing against the walls in blind fury. Instead, it sat, watching, listening. One evening, Alara decided to take a risk. She entered the chamber itself. Stepping through the reinforced door, the guards panicked, their hands on weapons. Jonas almost pulled her back, but she insisted, "If it wanted to kill me, it would have done so already." The door sealed behind her. The air inside the chamber felt heavy, charged with the weight of danger. The creature rose slowly, towering above her. Chains rattled. Its yellow eyes glowed like fire in the shadows. Alara's hands trembled, but she did not step back. She spoke softly, "I am not your enemy." The creature tilted its head. Its breath rumbled deep in its chest. For a moment, the silence was unbearable. Then, slowly, it lowered itself back to the floor, sitting with deliberate calm. Alara let out a shaky breath. She had gambled her life, and won. From that night on, she entered the chamber often. Each time, the creature grew less tense. Its claws no longer clenched, its breathing steadier. Once, when she dropped her datapad by accident, it reached out and slid it back toward her with surprising care. The gesture left her speechless. The crew whispered endlessly about these visits. Some called her brave, others called her reckless. The aliens in the council sneered when reports reached them. "The humans are playing with death," they said soon. "Their weakness will destroy them." But something new was happening. Not even the council could deny. The creature was changing, its fury dulled, replaced by something slower, softer. Whenever Alara entered, it watched her with an expression that no one could name. Not rage, not hunger, something closer to trust. One evening, Alara brought a small object with her. A book from Earth. She sat on the floor of the chamber, opening the worn pages, and began to read aloud. Her voice echoed softly against the walls, telling stories of human history, of wars, of survival, of moments where mercy changed everything. The creature listened, its head lowered, its chest rising and falling with steady rhythm. Once, when she paused, it made a low sound. Not quite a word, but almost as if trying to echo her. The attempt sent chills down her spine. Hope sparked in her heart. Days turned into weeks, and the fragile bond grew stronger. The guards relaxed slightly, though still wary. Even Jonas, after watching the creature return Alara's gaze without aggression, began to question his doubts. But outside the human station, danger grew. The alien council watched with cold suspicion. To them, the delay of execution was proof of human weakness. They began to send messages. Time is running out. Prove the creature's worth or destroy it. Alara knew the deadline was close. She worked harder, speaking, teaching, waiting for a breakthrough. And then, one night it happened. She read softly from the book, her voice calm. At the end of a line, she closed it and whispered, "Do you understand me?" The creature stared at her, its jaw tense, its throat rumbled with effort. Then, in a deep, broken voice, it formed a word. "Yes." Alara froze, her breath caught. The sound was rough, but it was clear, a word, spoken with meaning. She smiled through tears. "You do understand." The creature lowered its head, as if ashamed. Its voice cracked again, "Not monster." Her heart ached to the words. At that moment, she knew she had been right all along. This was no beast without mind. This was a being scarred and broken, but alive, intelligent. When she left the chamber that night, Jonas met her at the door, his expression unreadable. She whispered to him, her voice shaking. It spoke. Jonas stared at her, stunned. "If the council learns this, they will kill it faster," Alara finished. She knew the truth. The aliens would never accept mercy, not unless humanity forced them to see it. And so the fragile bond between human and monster deepened, built on trust and fragile hope. But the shadow of the alien council loomed closer with each passing day. The choice to protect it had already divided the crew. The danger was only growing, and somewhere deep inside, the creature itself seemed to know that its time was running out. The human station floated in quiet orbit, its silver walls shining against the black sea of stars. Inside, life moved with tense rhythm. Scientists studied, guards patrolled, and Alara returned night after night to the chamber where the creature waited. The fragile bond between them grew, but so did the unease among the crew. Whispers spread through the halls. Some said the creature was learning, becoming more than a monster. Others claimed it was only waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Even Captain Jonas felt the weight of division pressing down on him. "We cannot keep this thing forever," he warned Alara. "Sooner or later, the council will act, or worse, the crew will." Alara knew he was right, but she could not turn back. Each time the creature spoke, even in broken words, her conviction grew stronger. She had seen its fear, its sorrow, its will to be more than chains allowed. She would not abandon it now. But fate had other plans. It began with a warning alarm. The station's sensors lit up red. Dozens of alien warships appeared at the edge of the system, their dark hulls shimmering with deadly light. The alien council had run out of patience. Within minutes, a message came through. The council's voice was cold and final. "Hand over the creature, or face destruction." Jonas slammed his fist against the console. "They don't want proof. They don't want justice. They want blood." Alara felt her chest tighten. She looked at the chamber where the creature sat in silence, its yellow eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Somehow, she knew, understood the danger too. The crew scrambled as the alien fleet closed in, shields raised, weapons charged. The humans were strong, but not strong enough to face an entire armada. Panic spread through the lower decks. Soldiers shouted. Engineers rushed to seal breaches. And through it all, the creature sat chained, waiting, watching. The first strike came without warning. A beam of burning light sliced across the station. The walls shook, alarms screamed. People were thrown from their feet in the chaos. The chamber doors cracked. Energy fields flickered. Sparks rained down like fire. Jonas cursed. "They're targeting the containment wing." The crew raced to hold the barriers, but the alien weapons kept coming. Another blast tore through the hull. Metal screamed. Smoke filled the air. The chamber walls trembled. And then, with a deafening roar, they gave way. The creature was free. For a single, terrifying heartbeat, the humans froze. Weapons rose. Fear gripped every soul. The massive figure stood tall, chains breaking from its arms. Its eyes burned brighter than ever. The moment hung between life and death. Then it moved, not toward the humans, but toward the collapsing walls. With a roar that shook the station, It threw itself against the invading soldiers. Alien troops poured through the breach, armored and armed. They expected panic. They expected easy slaughter. Instead, they met a storm. The creature tore through them with claws and strength that shook the floor. Blades shattered. Weapons broke. The aliens screamed as their own prey became their nightmare. The humans watched in shock, not sure whether to join or flee. Alera's voice broke through the chaos. Help it! Fight with it! Something shifted in that moment. The humans raised their weapons, firing alongside the beast. Laser fire lit the halls. Grenades shook the air. Together, human and monster drove the attackers back. The corridors filled with smoke, fire, and the echo of battle cries. The creature fought with fury, but not blind rage. Each time an alien soldier aimed for a human, it struck first, shielding them with its own body. Wounds burned across its skin, blood dark as night dripping to the floor. Yet it did not stop. It roared not in hate, but in defiance. When the last wave of soldiers fell, the halls lay in ruins, human and alien bodies alike scattered across the floor. The creature stood in the center, chest heaving, blood soaking its scars around it. The humans lowered their weapons slowly, disbelief in their eyes. Jonas stepped forward, his voice hoarse. It protected us. Alera moved closer, her heart pounding. The creature turned its gaze toward her, its massive form shaking with exhaustion. Its lips moved, and in a low, broken voice, it spoke. Safe. The single word carried more weight than 100 speeches. It had chosen. In the face of death, it had not attacked humans. It had defended them. Alera whispered back, tears streaming down her face. You are not a monster. But outside the station, the alien fleet prepared for another strike. The council had seen everything through their soldiers' eyes. They would not allow this, not when their entire belief that mercy was weakness was crumbling. Jonas looked at Alera, his voice grim. We bought time, but not victory. They'll come again, harder. They'll burn us all if they have to. Alera placed her hand against the creature's scarred arm, feeling the heat of its wounds. She knew the battle had only begun. Humanity had seen the truth, but the galaxy was not ready. And in the silence after the storm, as alarms blared and fires burned, the greatest question of all rose in her mind. Could mercy survive a war? The station was broken but still alive. Smoke drifted through the halls, fires burned in shattered corridors, and the crew worked desperately to seal the breaches. Outside the viewports, the alien fleet circled like predators waiting for the kill. Inside the ruined containment wing, the creature stood bleeding, its massive body scarred and shaking. Yet its eyes were not filled with rage. They glowed with something else, pain and a strange determination. Alera stood close to it, her hand trembling as she pressed a medical scanner against its chest. The readings shocked her. The creature's biology was complex, not random like a beast. There was structure, memory, scars of design. This is not an animal, she whispered. This was a person once. Jonas entered, covered in soot, his uniform torn. He frowned at the sight of Alera kneeling by the monster. You're wasting time. We need every hand repairing the station, not patching up a killing machine. But Alera shook her head. Her voice rose with conviction. No, Captain, listen, it spoke. It fought for us. And look at this. Its body shows patterns of damage, old scars, genetic wounds. This thing, it was changed, forced into this form. The creature lifted its head. Its lips moved slowly, forming rough, broken words. Was people. Jonas froze, his eyes widened. The weight of those words crushed the silence. Alera leaned forward, tears burning in her eyes. Your people, what happened? The creature closed its eyes. Its massive chest shuddered as if carrying memories too heavy to bear. Council, war, fire. Chains changed us. No more. Alera's heart broke. The truth struck like lightning. The alien council had not discovered a monster. They had created one. A people had been destroyed, twisted into beasts of war, their history erased, their voice silenced, until only this broken survivor remained. Jonas muttered, half in disbelief, God, they used it time like weapons. The creature's claws scratched the floor. marking lines like broken symbols. It tried to form words again, voice shaking. I last. The last of its kind. Alara's breath caught. She felt the weight of the moment, not just for herself, not just for the humans, but for the galaxy. If the Council's cruelty was revealed, if the truth was shown, that mercy had uncovered a soul, not a beast. It could shatter everything the aliens believed. But Jonas was grim. Alara, this changes nothing for the Council. They will kill us all before letting this truth spread. Alara looked at the towering creature, its chains broken, its body wounded, but its spirit still alive. Then we must protect it. We are the only witnesses left. The creature lowered its head. Its voice was soft, almost human in tone. Mercy gave me. Alara touched its scarred arm gently. And you gave us yours when you could have destroyed us. The moment was fragile, filled with the echoes of loss and the spark of hope. Around them, the crew whispered. Some wept. Some looked at the monster with new eyes, not as a beast, but as a survivor of slaughter no one had ever known. Yet the danger outside grew. Sharper, the alien fleet charged its weapons again, preparing another attack. The Council had seen enough. They would erase the station, the humans, and the creature, to bury the truth forever. Jonas slammed his fist against the wall. They'll burn us down to hide their crimes. Alara stood tall, her voice fierce. Then we cannot let them. If Mercy uncovered this truth, then Mercy must protect it. Humanity cannot stay silent. She turned to the creature, her eyes filled with determination. You are not a monster. You are the last voice of your people, and we will not let them silence you again. The creature's burning eyes softened. For the first time, it bowed its massive head, not in defeat, but in respect. In that moment, the bond between human and alien survivor became unbreakable. The revelation was clear. The galaxy believed in fear, in destruction, in control. But here, in the ruins of a dying station, Mercy had done what the Council never could. It had uncovered the truth. And now, the humans faced a choice larger than survival. They had to decide whether to stand against an empire to protect one broken being, or watch Mercy itself be erased from stars. The silence of space waited for their answer. The station groaned under the weight of damage. Fires burned in broken corridors. Crew rushed to repair failing systems. And outside the viewports, the alien fleet prepared for the killing blow. Their ships glowed with energy, weapons aimed, ready to erase everything. Inside the command deck, Captain Jonas stood at the center table, his jaw tight. They'll strike again in minutes. We cannot hold them off. His voice carried the exhaustion of a man who had fought too long. Alara stood beside him, her hands clenched. Her eyes were fierce, not with fear, but with resolve. If they destroy us, the truth dies with us. We cannot let that happen. Behind them, the creature entered. Its steps shook the floor, its body scarred and bleeding, but its head held high. For the first time, the crew did not flinch away. They parted, making space, watching as the so-called monster stood tall beside humans. Jonas turned toward it, his voice low. You saved us once, but what comes now? It may kill us all. The creature's yellow eyes burned like suns. Its deep voice rumbled, broken but clear, fight together. Those words sent a wave through the room. The humans stared, some in disbelief, some with awe. They had seen it fight, bleed, protect, and now it stood, not as a beast, but as an ally. Alara stepped forward, placing her hand gently on its arm. Yes, together, not as monsters, not as prey, but as people who choose mercy over fear. Jonas exhaled, then gave the order, transmit. The crew worked quickly, their message broadcasted across every open channel in the system. Not just words, but images, footage of the battle, of the creature shielding humans, of its broken voice saying safe and not monster. They showed the truth to anyone who could see. The Alien Council reacted instantly. Their fleet opened fire, beams of burning light tearing across the void. The station's shields flared, shuddering under the storm. The walls shook, metal screamed. The crew clung to their posts, fighting to hold the line. But then, something unexpected happened. Across the wider galaxy, smaller ships, traders, explorers, even alien civilians caught the broadcast. They saw what the Council had tried to hide. They saw a creature they had been told was a monster, fighting not for blood, but for mercy. Whispers spread across the stars. Questions rose, doubt took root, and the Council, once untouchable, suddenly looked fragile. On the station, the creature roared, stepping to the forward viewport. Its voice thundered, not with rage, but with defiance. No more. As if answering, the alien fleet hesitated, their weapons still charged, but their lines wavered. The Council had never faced doubt before. Their rule was built on fear, and fear was cracking. Jonas saw it. They're not united. We've shown them too much. Alara nodded, her voice firm. They wanted us destroyed to bury the truth, but the truth is already free. They cannot kill it now. Minutes stretched like eternity. Then, slowly, one by one, several ships in the fleet powered down their weapons. They turned away, breaking formation, refusing to fire. The Council's command ships barked orders, but hesitation spread like fire through dry fields. The humans watched in disbelief. The galaxy itself was beginning to question. Mercy had reached farther than weapons ever could. Finally, the Council ships retreated, vanishing into the black, not defeated by battle, but by the truth they could not silence. The human station, battered and broken, still stood. Silence filled the command deck. Then cheers erupted, crew embraced, laughter and tears mixing in the smoke-filled air. Against all odds, they had survived, not through destruction, but through mercy. Alara turned to the creature, her voice soft. You are free now. No Council can chain you again. The creature lowered its head, its massive frame trembling. Free with you. The word struck deep in every heart. It was not only the last of its kind, but the first of something new, a bond between human and alien born for mercy. Jonas looked around the room, his voice heavy but hopeful. This is not an end. This is a beginning the Council cannot control. Outside the station, the stars burned bright, silent witnesses to a new chapter in history. Where once aliens had seen only a monster, now the galaxy had seen a soul. And humanity, with all its flaws and courage, had proven its greatest strength was not its weapons, not its power, but its mercy. The creature stood tall beside them, scarred but unbroken, a survivor, a symbol, a friend. And as the station drifted into the endless night, one truth echoed across the stars. Sometimes it takes humans to see the soul where others see only a monster.